This is BNN, the Bloviation Nation Network.
And now it's time for America's sickest game show.
Name That Side Effect.
Brought to you by Bristol Squibb Myers, Smirk, Jackson & Jackson, and Phaser. And now, here's the host of Name That Side Effect, Bob Roberts.
Thank you, Johnny. This is the show where contestants, without their explicit knowledge, come in contact either through injection or exposure to one of the many conditions or diseases that has only come into the public consciousness over the last 5 years. After being diagnosed by our network TV doctors, each contestant, will be prescribed one of the most popular wonder drugs on the market today. The winning contestant is the person who guesses the name of the drug that they're taking based on the side effects they're experiencing. In the event of a tie, the contestant who can also name their affliction will be awarded first prize. And what will they win, Johnny?
Thanks, Bob. The winning patient will get a 10-day, all-expense-paid trip to the dream destination of isolation. No, you're not hallucinating. Not yet, anyway. You'll relax and try to get your strength back under the harsh fluorescent glare of clinic lights as exotic masked attendants serve you an array of local delicacies such as tapioca pudding, chicken of some kind, and everyone's favorite, Jell-O. Then, when your quarantine is ended, you'll be whisked home with only the faintest memory that this ever happened. Back to you, Bob.
All right, Johnny, thank you. So, players, are you ready? All right, then. And you at home, pick your favorite contestant, and let's get ready to play
Name That Side Effect.
Hi there, and welcome to this meeting, which we are calling to order as we speak, of the Dullards Club for Men.
And women.
And of course, women. Boy, I tell you, what a week, huh? There's been a lot of stuff going on here.
Well, I'll throw my opinion out in the line. It's been hell. This has been the highlight.
Crazy. You know, I've been walking around and talking to people over the last couple of days, and it's as if everybody that you talk to is in some stage of PTSD.
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
Just walking around and then with a kind of a blank look on their face. And I think that's people on either side of the issue.
Yes.
Because there are certain people that just can't believe it's happening in a good way.
I was just about to
others,
say, there's an element to disbelief. Yes. Others, yes.
Yeah. But I did hear, as I was walking around, that there was a lot of new business that's being generated in I don't know what you call this thing. I guess it's a phenomenon called the rage room. The rage room is where you go and
I've heard about that.
They give you implements of destruction, hammers and saws and sledgehammers and such, and they put you in with a bunch of glass and things that can break, and you break them, and you pay to break them.
Wow, give me that number before we sign up. I think I may have to make an appointment there, even if it costs money. I mean, I'm sure I have enough crap laying around the house that I could take a sledgehammer to, but there's something nice about the officialness of what this rage room. I bet it's going to be pretty busy in the next few days.
Well, sanctioned rage. Well, anyway, we now have a new president-elect, and so the next 4 years are going to be an interesting ride. I think that's my editorial comment.
I don't know if it's new president-elect. He's done it before, and you know what? We survived. I keep telling my daughter it's going to be okay. Somehow we'll survive.
Speaking of survival, it is amazing in the survival of the species
Let's see where
Going
this is
back to
going.
Java Man and the rest of our ancestors,
Uh-huh.
that cavemen ever decided that it was a good thing to eat a lobster.
Yeah, I
Think
thought about that. I've thought about that frequently whenever we have lobster. Who the hell had the bright idea to say this ugly creature that washed up on the beach? Hey, let's eat it.
I think one time a lobster may have just simply crawled into a fire.
Pick
That had to be
someone.
the only way. Turned a little red, and the next thing you knew, it was a delicacy.
But then you had to decide you can't just bite into a claw. You got to take a rock and crack that son of a bee open and then
But it's
pick it
true.
apart and go, you know what? What the hell? I'm hungry. Let's just eat it. That's the first instinct of man. Let's just eat it.
Let's
See,
put it in our mouth and see what happens.
see
And
what
there's a lot
happens.
of obviously the thousands or millions of years of trial and error. Uh, I think about the first person that decided that mushrooms might be a good thing to eat.
Well,
And
depending upon which one, they either died or had a hell of a trip.
well, that's my point is, uh, if the first one that you took was the one that killed you, I would think that the rest of the tribe would at some point say, "Hey, we got to stay away from this stuff. When we're making our salad, leave the mushrooms out."
There's an element of experimentation, and I guess somehow don't you talk about the survival of the species? That's pretty much a large part of it.
Survival of the luckiest, I think. I was off on a tangent here somewhere, talking about something that I sometimes look at, and many dullards do, in great depth
Mm-hmm.
as we scratch the surface on topic after topic. But do you think it's true that when you're in a relationship with somebody, or when you're seeking a relationship, that opposites attract? I always wondered, because when you look at an older couple, they don't look like opposites. In fact, they almost look like twins. And
And like their pets, oftentimes.
they often do. And they even dress the same, which is, and I think it has to do with the color palette. As you get older, your color palette narrows down to, maybe a little. What are we both wearing today? We're both wearing. So,
I was just gonna say I like my maroons and grays and browns and blacks.
little khaki, little black. And then what happens is when you go out for a walk somewhere, this will happen sometimes. I'll be getting dressed with my wife. We'll be going out to not an ultra fancy place, but just a nice little place. And I'll look up and we're freaking twins. I don't, I, because if it's khaki pants, it's a black shirt. If it's black pants, it's a khaki, it's a maroon or blue or white. And that is the extent of it.
Well, how fitting though. We are in bland we trust. It got to the point where my wife, bless her, she loves the idea of giving gifts at Christmas. Said, just give me a gift card. I can't give you a gift card. You're going to get something. So we got to the point. It's a box. It's a rectangular box. And she'll preface it by saying, I've got the receipt. So we know you're going to return it. But I had to put something under the tree. And I'll open it. And she's thankfully, over the last 40 years of marriage, learned what to get and not to get. But she keeps hoping there's something with a little color might make its way into my closet.
Wear it once, take a picture.
I like my boring wardrobe.
And on that note, even though it's riveting, and we could probably speak to this for another, I don't know, 2 minutes, we're going to cut it off right here and take a short break.
Cut it off indeed. But before we do go to the break, we should remind folks that out there, if you have any ideas or topics that you'd like discussed during one of these quote unquote meetings, you can always just send us an email with your thoughts or suggestions. Send the email to boring@thedullardsclub.com. We will make sure to give your feedback the consideration it so much deserves. And when we come back, you will no doubt feel the dizzying effects of us circling the drain. See you shortly. He once found the answer at the bottom of a bottle. New words are invented when he coughs. He was pulled over for DUI and let the cop off with a warning. He can eat just one potato chip. His DNA code is classified. He has squeezed blood from a stone and juice from a clam. He's the president of clubs he doesn't belong to. When told you can't unring a bell, he did. He's the poet laureate in languages he doesn't know. Women make appointments to get turned down by him. For him, eye contact from across the room is a first date. He follows women home and offers them beer. He is the creepiest man in the world.
I don't always drink to excess, but when I do, watch out. Stay reckless, my friends. Welcome back, and it's time to wrap things up here. We have just a few things that really weren't good enough to be in the actual meeting, but we thought we'd bring them up anyway and allow you to judge for yourself. This is the time of year where you start seeing advertisements for things that will be great gifts.
Sure.
Things that you would never think of yourself. And I saw one the other day that I think just caught my attention. It was called a tactical cat harness. Everything is tactical these days, you know, and of course it's in camo. Yeah, but I thought to myself, what kind of a mission do you go on where you have to bring a cat with you?
As we approach the holiday, one of the things I thought of, it stuck on my mind, and it has in the past, but we now have a platform on which to share. Why is the holiday pronounced Thanksgiving rather than Thanksgiving? We are giving thanks, but every time from when I was growing up, I was like, hey, it's Thanksgiving. It's like, until you think about it, why put the emphasis on that syllable? It doesn't make any sense. But what do you got next?
Hey, speaking of those weird gifts, I saw one on my feed. I don't know whether it was Facebook or just on my phone, whatever. But it was for a new product called a Miracle Sheet, a self-cleaning and cooling sheet. And these Miracle Sheets are
S-H-E-E-T. Okay, just want to clarify. I'm not mishearing you.
The Miracle Sheet, it's literally the cleanest. I've got to read this. It was the cleanest sheet ever invented. They're made with an advanced all-natural silver-infused cotton fabric that fights 99% of bacteria. So you actually don't have to clean them. They according to the according to the write-up here, they don't need cleaning.
Not necessarily according to your spouse or partner.
Use at your own risk, I would say.
Yeah. Hey, I thought of another possible alias for us. We are the Radio Relics. How about the Minutia Men? Come on. Like the Minutemen, we could wear little uniforms. Of course, that might be too colorful for us. But
I think a lot of our members or prospective members would give that some consideration. You know, in that vein, there's a podcast out there that I came across. It was called Almost Famous. And I'm pretty sure it's based on a movie. Wasn't there a movie? Yeah, yes. There was a movie. Anyway, it was suggested when I thought about this that we call our podcast Almost Heard Of.
Well, we're getting there. We are almost heard of, I think. As we get ready to say goodbye, the drain, we are circling the drain. One parting shot. Why is there a D in fridge, but not in the word refrigerator? And on that note.
And we will ponder that as we go to our adjournment. But for you, if you'd like to start a Dullards Club franchise in your area, then you're even duller than you thought. But we'll provide you with a starter kit. This is a new product here that includes everything you'll need to be the dullest person in your small circle of friends.
Find out smaller by the moment.
So find out more by visiting our Facebook page, The Dullards Club for Men and Women too. And of course, everything you need to know is on our website, thedullardsclub.com. This meeting is adjourned. So we will see you next time.
Very good. Thank you. Have a great week. Bye.
I know.